In a city with a bad rep for violence, there's no debate. It's a serious problem.
This is a crisis, and it's something that we've never faced before. And if we don't resolve it, I really fear for the future of, I really fear for the future of our city as a destination to live and work and raise your family.
Assigned to.
But we also heard a call for the finger pointing to stop.
We could point fingers all day. We could point them out at ourselves.
YouTube family, hit that like button and that subscribe button, because what you're seeing is the breakdown of 12 Chicago PD. They're making a mess of mockery right now. Folks in them is going backdooring with each other, snitching on each other. Yes, that's right. The Chicago 12 and PD are dropping information on each other. There's chaos in the streets. There's dysfunction and a whole lot going on. You see they be trying to go at all the young guys out there. But I'm one of the few bloggers that stick up for those, you know, rappers, street niggas, or whatever you want to call it. And the truth is, if there's no leadership, there's a breakdown. Now let's look at a rundown of the summary on what's been transpiring through the city and causing the mayhem. Now this alleged PD mayor by the name of Mayor Lori Lightfoot, I ain't gonna lie, you know, politicians been with mayors and gangsters and all that for years, but this one over here bluntly does not care. This one is up in the open, and let's just get on with the scene, gang. Some breaking news. Let's break down them Chicago streets lives right now.
Polite.
Elizabeth, thank you. The standoff over the department's vaccine mandate continues.
Mayor Lightfoot shared the numbers today when it comes to city workers and compliance, and police and firefighters are at the bottom of the list.
Anthony Ponce live tonight with what it all could mean. Anthony.
Yeah, Dawn and Corey, outside of the police and fire department, the compliance rate among city employees is in the mid 90 percentile. So these two sides, though, CPD and the police union, appear to be no closer to an agreement. And here at CPD headquarters, a little bit earlier today, the very first group of non-compliant officers turned in their badges and they were put on a no-pay status.
I mean, she was at a game last night without a mask. Come on, does anybody think this is really about stopping the spread? This is all about total control by this mayor. She is a miserable human being.
The stalemate gets even more bitter. And the force are still non-compliant.
I really hope that the men and women of the Chicago Police Department, who have been fed a lot of stuff, that's the most polite yes or no.
While the police union argues the city's violated its members' contractual rights and is pushing for an outside arbitrator to step in.
We are now at the point where we are 100% against what they're putting forward, and they are 100% against what we're putting forward. There is never going to be a negotiated settlement to this. The only settlement is going to be at an arbitrator's table.
The city maintains its bargaining in good faith and reminds officers that the temporary testing option ends on December 31st.
So we need all of our workers within all of our departments and agencies to step up and do their part to end the pandemic by getting fully vaccinated.
Never experienced anything like this. They've never felt anything like this, and they're legitimately frightened.
Aldermen say residents are scared, and the violence levels in Chicago are at a crisis level.
Some aldermen gathered today to talk about the causes, but also solutions to crime in Chicago.
Sally Schulze reports.
In a city with a bad rep for violence, there's no debate. It's a serious problem.
This is a crisis, and it's something that we've never faced before. And if we don't resolve it, I really fear for the future of our city as a destination to live and work and raise your family.
But there is disagreement on how to handle the uptick in crime, as 4 Chicago aldermen took part in a Lincoln Forum virtual panel. Some say Chicago needs more officers on the streets.
No officers means no arrests.
Others say new limitations on CPD's foot patrol policy are to blame for crime spreading beyond normal hotspots.
Is now the entire city of Chicago, because now the people who create these heinous crimes, they're saying, if I'm not going to be chased, let me go to the affluent areas and get more bang for my buck.
While others praise technology, including ShotSpotter, even after an Inspector General report blasted that system.
It's like the Wild West out there. Guns are everywhere, and criminals are using them.
Of course, there was a lot of bashing the mayor, state's attorney, and police superintendent David Brown, especially his citywide crime-fighting team.
That team should be disbanded. Our officers should be sent back to the districts they were assigned to.
But we also heard a call for the finger pointing to stop.
We could point fingers all day. We could point them out at ourselves, as we should. But if we don't find the right solutions, we're going to deal with this over the next 5 or next 10 years, and it's only going to get worse.
With some predicting 800 murders in Chicago before the year end, it's a debate that promises to continue. Sally Schulze, Fox 32, Chicago.
They've never experienced anything like this. They've never felt anything like this, and they're legitimately frightened.
Aldermen say residents are scared, and the violence levels in Chicago are at a crisis level.
Now, you see this continues to go. It doesn't stop. I mean, it's like these politicians couldn't find a way to understand their own foundations, their own streets, their own life over there. Now, talk about police backdooring each other. That's exactly what's going on now. So you got a lot of steppers out there, allegedly, you feel me, these drillers out here who's unexpectedly being accused of certain things when you got this alleged BD, I mean. And it's not that the fact, even if she was a BD, I'm not going to judge her or nothing like that, but it shows your incompetence to do things non-biased for the city.
Confrontation at City Hall.
Around the country, I feel bad for standing up for myself. I feel bad that Chicago and young people around the country had to see 2 black women get into it this way.
An ugly confrontation at City Hall. An alderwoman says the mayor lashed out at her in an angry face-off.
The fight at City Hall caused the meeting to be cut short, with highly debated issues still on the table.
Natalie Bomke joins us now with those developments. Natalie.
Corey and Dawn, the council was expected to vote today on the renaming of Lakeshore Drive, but that was blown out of the water when a handful of council members disagreed with the mayor.
Madam President, we cannot adjourn this meeting because according to our rules of order, according to our rules and regulations, there were several Rule 41s that were posted that have to be addressed at this meeting.
Standing up and yelling without seeking recognition is not something that's appropriate. We're going to Alderman Harris.
And unraveling at City Hall after the mayor lost support for her pick for the city's chief legal officer. Then the mayor called Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, who was opposed, to the back of the council chamber.
I'm like, lower your voice and get your finger out of my face. And so she did get her finger out. You see me doing this. And so I'm holding my skirt. I'm saying, get your finger down. She got her finger out of my face, but she kept screaming at me.
Alderwoman Taylor says the disagreement was not over the mayor's pick, but rather the city's position on moving to dismiss a lawsuit by a woman whose home was wrongfully raided by Chicago police in 2019. The mistake was caught on tape. After the council meeting, the mayor released a statement saying, in part, today a small group of aldermen brazenly created a spectacle and did a disservice to their constituents. As a result of their cynical actions, the city council failed to pass protections and relief for our hotel workers. When asked if the mayor is losing control of the council and respect from aldermen, Taylor said this.
Ever since COVID, you don't want to work with people. You pick and choose who you work with. This is not how the city, we're never going to get anywhere if we all don't work together.
By the way, the vote on renaming Lakeshore Drive was pushed to Friday afternoon. Dawn?
I mean, this is deeper than what you're seeing. Tensions are mounting up. People are looking at this situation, and folks had enough. I mean, it's like people need to know that you've lost the city. You've lost the city, Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
But you didn't mention, I don't think any of your speakers here today mentioned it, is the reason why the hotels are empty, the reason why the storefronts are closed, is because of fear of violent crime.
No,
there was, well,
sir,
if I may ask my question, it's a simple question. There's a woman, a pregnant woman was shot at a hotel across the street from here last week at 4 in the afternoon. You know, of course, we have this horrific Juneteenth, 50-some shootings. A young Hispanic couple pulled from their car and shot execution style. This video has gone viral. I don't think we've had any arrests in this case yet. A tourist came to Chicago and was stabbed in the back and murdered on Juneteenth here in the city of Chicago. Our police chief referred to the location of the stabbing as a homeless camp. Last time, I was born and raised in Chicago. I always considered it to be the financial district of Chicago, not a homeless camp.
Do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, so my question is, do Do you feel personally responsible for the your rhetoric, your heated rhetoric is responsible for this off-the-charts violent crime in the city of Chicago?
So,
several questions. No, I have a follow-up. No, I only asked one question.
Okay. So,
white reporter in the house.
So you know what? That's not appropriate, sir. If you look around you, sir, you're surrounded by white reporters. So I really ask you to
Do you feel responsible?
Sir. Let me answer the question that you've already asked. So I don't know where you're from. But I know what magazine you're from, and I know what your conservative viewpoints are. But on almost every question that you ask, you had the facts wrong. So here's what I will say in answer to about the 15 questions that you just asked. No one thinks that a single act of violence is ever acceptable, least of all me. The hotels are where they are here in Chicago, as they are across the country because of economic shutdown. We're here to celebrate is the reopening of our city, the great enthusiasm that our residents and our tourists have. If you look at the actual facts, sir, what you're going to find is that on our weekends, when people are engaging in leisure travel, our hotels are seeing unprecedented levels of occupancy, in some instances higher than pre-pandemic. I think that speaks to the nature of our city and the value that people place in being. But I will share with you. To get this straight.
Violent crime, the thousands of unsolved shootings and murders and stabbing. My follow-up question is simply this. Many residents in Chicago feel that you've lost control of the city. Now it appears as though you've lost control of the Chicago City Council. Do you owe an apology to the victims of violent crime, the thousands of unsolved shootings and murders and stabbings and random stabbings in the downtown and the south side and the north side and the west side? Do you owe these people any apology?
So once again, sir, I ask you to get your facts right. Crime is not out of control in our city. In fact, crime is on the decline. All of our major indices showed a decline in.
Y'all just heard what this fool just said. All of our crimes, in fact, is decreasing. Bro, this even in my city is not decreasing. I know your city is not. Everywhere is not. I don't care what state you from. There's no way crime is decreasing. Crime has elevated at an all-time high. You better believe that. But for her to be in a position where she can't wake up, shake up, and understand it's shake and bake season. So she's baking right now in a lot of theatrics, dramatic situation, and she's clueless to what's going on. Now, her alleged BD ties, I'm not here to give a damn about that. But it does shows that if you have somebody in a higher leadership position and they're not going to be unbiased, then it's going to be problematic to the city because you're picking and choosing. And it's a damn shame when the mayor picks a side. Look, I'm your God bless one. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Love your family, love your kids. Stay blessed, gang.